Hello and welcome to The Journal, the show where we take a closer look at what's going on in your community. I'm your host, Kim Roberts.
And I'm your host, E.T. Today we have a really great show for you in store. Touching upon two different tastes, we'll meet up with hip-hop artist talent and indie rock artist R.J. Holmes.
And then later on, we'll take a look at vintage sleds and weightlifting. Those professions will definitely work up some hunger, so then we'll take you to dangerous stands.
And also, we'll touch up on the obstacles you may face getting into the film industry.
Well, let's get into it. Here's hip-hop artist talent.
Beautiful. Talent. Welcome to my beautiful, dark, talented fantasy. Bounce. Bounce, bounce.
My name is Christopher, and my alias is Talent, with an exclamation mark instead of an L. I'm a rapper, producer. At first I wanted to be an author, because I was always writing. That's what my mom always had me doing in my spare time. And then basically I just branched out into different creative things. My mom got me into all kinds of arts, dance, all kinds of stuff, and eventually I found rap music as the best medium. I started off making little tunes, melodies on my sister's piano, and then eventually I combined my love of poetry with the music, and that's why I started rapping. It's almost like therapy. I get one line in my head that sounds clever, or it just sounds like really thought-provoking, and I just want to continue it. It's usually a train of thought. When people listen to my music, they tend to tell me that they have to listen from the very beginning till the very end. They can't skip the different lines, because then they lose the train of thought and it doesn't make sense anymore.
I fantasize and dream of never waking up. You see this cold world, see I could give a so I open my eyes and see what's really up. I just keep them closed and hope my dreams get real enough. Oh yeah, same for my nightmares. I just see them as scary adventures through my ideas. This right here, what you're hearing right now, was a dream world experience I happened to write down.
My name's Jordan Longo, aka Enzo St. Clair. I'm a engineer and producer and a rapper. I like working with Talent a lot. We've been working together about a year now. We've done a couple of songs together where I was featured on some of his songs. I recorded a lot of his stuff on his upcoming project, April Showers Bring Me Powers. He goes out of the typical box that most rappers stay with, like the mainstream stuff, and he like touches on really different topics, and he's a creative artist, so it's always fun to work with Talent.
I like to write from the perspective of a person who's in a negative situation and maybe doing negative things, but then flip it so that people see that there's positive influences on people's decisions, and basically showing that there's a reason for the negativity and there's a reason why you can overcome it.
Sometimes we don't see the good life, but all we gotta do is turn on the lights, stay up, stay up.
I know a lot of people who are in the negative aspect of hip-hop. They're doing gang-related songs and stuff like that, and when they hear my music, it's almost like they feel threatened. They can't believe that someone who's not talking about that can also make good music. I've even heard, oh, how come you didn't swear on this song? You should swear a little bit, show some aggression. I understand that there's a market for different things, right? People want to have like music that's more about sex and stuff like that, and more about violence and all kinds of things. And the thing that I'm worried about, it sounds cheesy, but it's the kids. That gets ingrained in them, and then it's a cycle, and it gets worse and worse. So I think censorship is something that should be considered, but I mean, I understand there's freedom, but I think people have to take responsibility for what they do and really see if they can live with themselves. With the music, especially with rap music, there's a lot more flexibility. You're not confined by rules of language and stuff like that. You know, you can bend the rules, and there's a lot of room for expression that you can't get from writing a story. And I'm writing my own story with the music, so.
Yeah, play this song, everybody gonna hear it out. It'll be my GPS, everyone will know my whereabouts. That boy got talent, that's my name, yeah, don't wear it out. Talent, yeah, that's the name you'll be hearing about. But every medicine has its side effects. Guaranteed them to get a dose of hate when I get my title.
Talent takes us down a different road of rap that I think we can all appreciate, don't you think, Kim?
Definitely. He stays away from the stereotypical rap stereotyping like sexuality, drugs, guns. So I really suggest you guys take a look into Talent's music. Well, since we got a taste of rap, let's take another look at indie rock artist R.J. Holmes.
Does it help win the bet? Is this a desire to avoid tempting fate? Is this act of praise getting...
My name's RJ Holmes. I'm a singer/songwriter. I'm also a musician, performer. I'm signed with EMI Canada, so I write songs for them with a 50-song portfolio, as well as I try to attract other artists into my songwriting abilities so that they could have a song for their own discography. And they buy it off of EMI, and then EMI buys it off of me, and then it's the cycle of songwriting, my friend. I'd say the song ideas that came to my head came from different material, from different artists that inspired me to write different songs. John Lennon, I quote, said, "The more I learn songs, the bigger the thief I become." He's talking about the song ideas in which he learns from different songs that he's able to put down into his own songs. I guess there's different ways you could look at it. Basically, you're writing songs for EMI and you're not writing songs for yourself, but at the same time you're writing songs for yourself, so an artist could be attracted to that song and have the possibility of buying that. However, since I write songs for EMI, I don't have 100% rights. I have 75% of the rights. And once I write a song, I have to send it to EMI right away. And then they keep track of my portfolio. And I can't ask them for that song back, because as soon as I post it or submit it, it's theirs. Whereas when I want to write songs for like my own performance or different sets, I have to use my own songs, not the songs that I wrote for EMI. And that's kind of hard because you're balancing between singer/songwriter, but then you're also balancing between playing at venues, playing live, so becoming a performer. Most people would say like singer/songwriter and being an artist is the same thing. I used to say the same thing, like I'm a singer/songwriter, I perform live. But now that these two things are coming together and like I have to work between the two, they're two different things. One of the questions that I asked EMI was, how long does it take to build up the portfolio for 50 songs? And they said, well, it just depends on how much you're writing, how much you're putting effort into it. If you just write songs, 3-4 songs a week, this is what they encourage and motivate you to do, you'll have success in the business.
So Kim, what do you think about this RJ Holmes guy?
I really like him, and considering we both have musical backgrounds, you've done a lot of theater work, and you even worked behind the scenes, but that's, you know, still important. And I've done musical composition, and I've studied vocal for years at the New Conservatory. We can both relate to him, and we know how hard it is to produce music, how to produce a show, and just having it come from the heart.
Yes, I totally agree with you, Kim.
And after all of that music, let's turn it up a notch. First, let's take a look at vintage sledding.
Well, I think it all started out for me when I was about 16 years old. I decided that there was racing here locally in Parry Sound, so I'd give it a try. Me and my dad got out there and we gave it a shot. Well, I'm such and such an age now. I can only say that it's probably been about 25 years that I've been racing vintage.
Where have you raced, and what was your best experience?
Well, I've raced all over Ontario, a little bit into Quebec. The best experience for me, though, came in a place called Eagle River, Wisconsin, where I won the World Championships in my division in 2009. So for me, that probably is the highlight reel. Since '09, I've gone back every year trying to repeat, but it's difficult to, it's a difficult place to win. Mostly just in the sheer number of competitors that are there. It's difficult to make a final. It's definitely difficult to get a win out of there. So from there, it just escalated for me. I mean, it doesn't take long to have a lot of time and money invested in this sport. So, you know, I think at that moment, I had invested so much time and energy, it was too late to go back.
What do you get from it and how do you benefit?
Well, for the most part, it varies depending on really where you're racing. Some venues offer a cash prize, you know, some venues offer a plastic trophy. You know, either way, in a lot of ways to me, the plastic trophy means a lot. The money, it's gone by tomorrow. So yeah, that's basically what I get out of it. And as far as, for me, I get a little bit of sense of gratification when you build something and it works successfully, perhaps a win. Just to enjoy the hobby and the people that are surrounding the hobby. It's really, you know, it's a good bunch of people, being North American wide. It doesn't matter where you go.
So what are some of the struggles that you face?
The biggest struggle I could say that we face is the snowmobile racing season is such a short season, such a short window to get things prepared and be successful. And that's probably the biggest obstacle we have to overcome to get any testing, any things we need to do. And perhaps if you have a major breakdown in that short window, it's tough to get something together and make it work. And I think people's love for the sport will always be there. The numbers, the events, the prize money, we might see that start to diminish.
Wow, that's a whole lot of snow. I think after watching this clip, I just might go up north and do some sledding myself for the first time ever in my life.
The first time?
Yep.
You've never been snowmobiling or skiing or snowboarding?
Oh, I've done tubing.
That doesn't count.
Okay.
You know what? What have you been doing as a little kid?
I was sheltered.
Let's take a look at weightlifting.
Yeah, just take it.
Alright, man, it's gonna take a while. Yeah, that yellow goodness. Before I started working out, I definitely had a lot of time on my hands, but you know, I fell in love with it, so it's definitely a positive thing in my life. Also, I would say I'm a naturally pretty aggressive person. Like, I get a little rowdy at times and everything, and you know, releasing that aggression at the gym definitely helps me to calm down. I actually just worked out on my own just for like pure aesthetics, for pure looks, and I realized that my genetics are actually pretty good and I'm a lot stronger than a lot of bigger guys. So I'm like, hey, I actually have a shot in this, so why not, you know, give it a try. So I've been working out maybe in total for 7 years, but really been hitting it seriously the last 3 years, you know, changing up my routine and stuff like that. My workouts are revolved more around strength training. It usually lasts an hour and a half. So I usually do 5x5, so 5 sets of 5 reps of a weight you can do anywhere from 75 to 85% of your 1 rep max. So I'm talking about a squat, back squat, front squat, bench press, deadlift, Romanian deadlift, any of those big lifts. And I'll probably do each one about 3 times a week. At the intensity that I train at, I'm definitely a very nice guy after my workout. I'm feeling really good, you know. My ego is definitely gone. I'm not aggressive at all. It's kind of like going through war and just coming back like all beat up. When I used to work at Good Life, it was at a corporate building, so everybody there was like a 9 to 5er. And holy cow, man, I saw some grumpy people there. A lot of people don't understand is that, especially as a male, you know, you got a lot of testosterone, you need to release, you know, maybe stress or a certain aggression depending on how your personality is. And a lot of people are just working constantly, you know, using their mind, and they don't work out, but it's actually, you gotta do both. You gotta work out your body, and you gotta obviously work out your mind, and people think they're 2 different things, but one actually is helping the other.
Heels down.
Now I'm kind of doing it on my own. Started a small gym in my basement, so I'm trying to get clientele that way. It's more beneficial for me, it's more beneficial for people financially. And you know, definitely grow my business. It's definitely a learning process. When I was younger, I honestly tried so many like weight gainers, protein powders, you know, creatine, schmeatine, you know, nitrous oxide, you know, to get a good pump going. And for everybody, the only thing I could say is start eating real food. We're actually gonna go to the grocery store. And you're gonna get a little sneak preview of what I buy. If you're working out, nutrition is about 75 to 80% of what you should be focusing on. This is something that I tell everybody, every single one of my clients. Get some garlic, the shit's good to cook with, you know? The reason for that is whatever you put into your body, that's how you're gonna shape your body. If you're gonna eat if you're gonna eat trash, you're gonna look like trash, right? Let's see what they got here. You gotta get a lot of stuff from here. You know, I usually go and buy for the whole week, so you know, I don't want to come here every couple of days. All right, that should be good. That would probably last me about a week and a half. If you're trying to get bigger, you gotta put the calories in. You actually be coming from meat. That's where the protein comes from. That's what actually builds muscle. There we go, some medium. Big Factor's got a lot more flavor too, so. I know everybody kind of goes to the gym for aesthetics, so why not keep your nutrition clean? It's gonna benefit you in the end. Usually I'll get frozen vegetables. I hate making salad. Honestly, other than this, like I'll probably get rice on another day, but I don't usually go into the aisles. Everything in the aisles is kind of like man-made, nothing natural. I usually wake up, I have about anywhere from 6 to 8 eggs. 3 or 4 will be whole eggs. Yeah, everything else is egg whites. I throw out the yolk. It's a lot of cholesterol. You know, fat gives you energy. Most people think that fat is what gets them fat, which is actually not true. What people are overeating is sugar. Sugar is going to be stored in your body as fat. I usually get my workout in the morning for my after meal workout. Get some meat, usually ground beef or some chicken breast with a cup of rice. And then everything else is kind of like protein and salad. Trying to keep it lean. People got work schedules, but I mean, if you're committed to your goals, you got to plan out your day. Usually people have a hard time planning out their days, so good thing for anybody that has any fitness goals is actually cook all your stuff on a certain day. Let's say Sunday, take about 4 hours to cook for the whole week. I actually like this stuff a lot. This is some old school Russian stuff. It's like a yogurt, really goes down smooth. This stuff's really thick. I want to kill somebody before my workout, and I want to kiss somebody after my workout.
Wow, did you see the amount of eggs and beef that guy was eating? I think it's time for me to hit the gym.
You at the gym?
Yeah.
I think you're gonna need much more than a better diet if you want to go to the gym with this.
Hey, you don't like those, my lean muscles?
You know what? Let's just change the subject, shall we?
Fine.
You know who else uses a lot of beef and eggs?
Who's that?
Dangerous Dan's.
Well, let's take a look at that clip then now, shall we?
Oh, the name's Dangerous Dan's my grandpa's nickname I had from my grandfather. So when I was going to open a place, I decided to name it after him. It's probably good luck so far. We're still open, so we're doing okay, I guess. But just you wanted to have connotations with something that's in my case someone who made me very happy and stuff like that. So not much. I mean, I've been doing this 13 years. I never. When you start, you're just working so hard to get it going and to make a living, and then, it's sort of like you turn around and it's like, wow, you're doing okay, but you never really, I don't know any businessman who really worries about a legacy or thinks about any of that. You're just trying to make a living. And Quad C is a 24-ounce burger. The patty's 24 ounce and has a quarter pound of bacon on it, a quarter pound of cheese, 2 eggs, a small poutine, and a large shake. We wanted to say we have Toronto's biggest hamburger, so we had a 24-ounce hamburger. It always started with that. And then we had a coronary burger, which we thought was as well. But then one of my customers complained that the 24-ounce was too boring to eat, and the coronary wasn't enough. So we mixed it all together and came up with a quad. And, and said, "Here, try this, you big fat bastard." And he liked it and he ate it, and he still comes in as a customer 13 years later. So, it's more we wanted to make it as big as we think you can actually eat and finish it, but be difficult to eat. We didn't want to make it impossible. Like, this will make you uncomfortably full. Like, that's our goal. Like, you can actually do it, but you're not going to feel real good about it. The quad, we probably do about 25 a week, on average, 20 to 25. It's more a weekend thing. You don't sell too many during the week. But I'd probably say more than half, about 60%, finish the burger. They can finish that. It's the poutine and the shake that tend to kill them. That adds a lot of extra calories. It's like getting down that last 3 pounds of food is difficult. We had CTV did a thing on why Canadians are getting fatter once, and they said the coronary was the equivalent of like 3 Big Macs and a fillet of fish or something like that. And the colon clogger would be, double that. So it's lots and lots. Because the whole burger trend in the last couple of years, lots of burger places. Like, we had the most expensive hamburger. We made one that was $38.95, and then someone came up with a $100 burger. And, I just can't figure out how to put enough stuff on it to charge $100 for a burger. So, and the whole gourmet thing. I think a burger should be a big greasy mess that's not too healthy for you. It's burger's comfort food at its, it's basic. It's like, pizza or burgers or any of that stuff. It's supposed to make you feel good. It's not supposed to be good for you. And we're not trying to make a statement, or we're just trying to make a burger.
So that's almost triple the capacity of
Wow, that was good. So good, I'm going to touch upon something that is very important to me. Could I get some music, please? A little bit louder would be great. In the film industry, it's very hard to get into. There's so much talent, there's so much talent and just not enough space. And I just really want to get...
You know what? Just shut it. Just play the next clip. Shut up.
My name is Nicholas Pattison, and I am a comedian and writer. I'm an insatiable writer. I love writing, and I've always wrote. And I feel like that's one of the things that really got me into acting or comedy in that sense, is I have all of these ideas and I need to get them out on paper. And I feel like writing something that's absolutely never going to go out of style, because everyone wants entertainment. But it's definitely something you have to work on. You have to be an avid reader, because if you're not, it's very easy to want to tell a story but not have the words to get it out. And the only way you can do that is literally by continuously reading and always having a dictionary beside you to, when you don't know what a word is, actually finding it out. You have absolutely no idea how many times I've done a sketch or a play and I brought the actors in to read it and they've been like, this word doesn't make sense there. I wrote a Christmas special for Rogers TV called Threadless Theatre Swirling Holiday Spectacular, and it aired on Rogers TV about 8 times. In Rogers TV had gone into contact with me and asked if it was all right with me if they would bring in cameras to the theater show and film us, just because they heard through word of mouth that it was going to be for charity and that a lot of Toronto comedians were going to be there and they were excited about it. So when I had to cancel because I wouldn't be in Toronto, I was very upset, and I messaged Rogers and I said, sorry, we're not going to be able to do this theater show. And then they messaged me back and they said, well, would you be able to film it? So I told them, I went, sure, we can do it. So we ended up filming at Centennial College. We used Centennial's tech kids. And it's funny because now when everyone asks me about it, it's a lot easier to get on television, I feel, than people know. All you really need to have is the motivation, the determination, and you kind of need to know what you're doing. I do have friends that pick and choose, or they don't feel like this is what they're going to end up doing, so when they do stuff, they do it half-assed. And it doesn't work like that. If you want to be in it, you have to be in it with all of you, and you have to be willing to push your comfort zone and do things that you wouldn't be comfortable with. Not that I'm saying everyone should be naked on camera, but you know, if you want to be on camera for the rest of your life, it has to be something that you have to at least consider, and you have to realize that the work's more than you, and that as just an actor, you're 100% replaceable. But as a writer and creator in that sense, that's something that no one can take away from you, because you're the one who's making your own work. Especially in film, being behind a camera, you feel like you're only a cameraman if you're doing it for an actual legitimate film that's going to be, you know, shown in the movie theaters or something. But you're a cameraman if you're behind a camera. It doesn't matter to what extent you're behind a camera, just as long as you're going in and doing it, that's what's going to help you out later on in life. I really developed a need to be seen. And I don't feel like it's an egotistical thing. I just feel like I have all these ideas, and I've just always wanted to get the ideas out there. But you know, a lot of people do see that as just me being kind of self-absorbed, which who knows, maybe I am self-absorbed. But if you're not self-absorbed to a sense, it's just like saying, if you don't think you're great, why should anyone else think you're great? Definitely one of the obstacles is there will always be people that telling you not to do it, that it's not a real career. My father wanted me to be a lawyer, and you know, when I started showing promise in theater, luckily for me, he understood, and he's really pushed me. Like, he produces my plays, or he has, or you know, whatever money he has, he'll give me for them. But there will always be people, especially for me, that will say you don't have natural talent. This is not something you can go into. But I feel like natural talent, compared to just, you know, having such a hard drive for the work, they're two such different things. Like, it's not that you can fake natural talent, but you can certainly work as hard as you can, and you can rise above that. This is what you want to do. You really have to just, you know, lay it on the table and just do it.
As all the crew starts killing themselves laughing.
Sorry, I got off on a tangent there.
That's fine.
Well, that's all the time we have today on The Journal. Thank you, all of you, for tuning in. And tune in next week, same place, same time. I'm E.T.
And I'm Kim.
And we're going to head over to Eric Reed to close off our show. Thank you, and good night.